you do continue to put yourself into big fights, right? I mean, I know December was incredibly disappointing. It's just such a weird result. I mean, were you able to move past that? Has it been easy to put that in the rearview mirror, or has it kind of lingered with you a little?
No, no. Of course, after a couple of weeks after the fight, I think about this, but I don't think about this anymore. New experience, new lesson for me. Now it's new chapter, new story, and I'm happy, motivated to do this again, and this time, finish fight before time.
A fresh opponent here in Alex Pereira. I guess how much of his career were you watching, not being in your division, and what did you think of him as a fighter?
Great fighter, great sportsman, knockout punch power. I watch almost all of his fights in MMA. So yeah, now we've got him in 205. When I heard just that he say he want to go to 205, I talk with my manager, send message to UFC. I want him, and we have him. So I'm happy that I can fight against someone like him. And that's it. I want to check my stand-up against him and try to knock him out. But if something goes wrong in stand-up, I can use my wrestling and take him down, finish him on the ground. This is what I want to do, win the fight.
I mean, chugging a can of water on fight week. I mean, can you put into words just how much better a fight week is at 205 pounds?
Now, we were expecting this since the last fight. I told them that I need a little bit of a break, need to relax a little bit, make more about the fight. Not that I cannot make the other weight class anymore, but just it feels good to just have a little break.
The loss in Miami, I know, was very frustrating for you, but was there any talk of taking more of a break? I mean, this is a pretty quick turnaround, just a little more than 3 months later.
Isso que eu fiz, estou voltando e vou lutar.
Well, everybody's bodies act different, right? So in my case, you can see, I feel that it was the right time. I didn't need too much of a break. I just needed a rest so I could recover from the fight a little bit. If you see on my past fight what happened, but the way that I walk in the locker room, the way that I was talking, you guys could tell that it was not that bad. So I think it's the right moment.
You complimented his power, which obviously at middleweight was insane, but you fought other guys that have moved up into it. Do you expect his power to transfer to 205, or do you think when he's in your division, now he's just another guy in the weight class?
No, I think he's got knockout punch power, even in my division, so I have to be careful all the time, keep my hands up very high. But I also know how to knock out people, so that's going to be a good matchup to watch.
Last thing for me, it's a little bit of chaos at the top of the division now, right? I mean, are you considering this a number one contender fight and you think you win? I mean, you should be fighting for the title again next?
Of course. UFC tell me that after this fight, next fight will be for the title. So nothing changed. Okay, Jamal he left the belt. I wish him very fast recovery. But my next opponent will be, I don't know, maybe Prohaska, and we're going to fight for the title, so we will see. But now I focus only about Saturday. I don't want to think about that. After the fight, we can talk about next step.
So you make the move to 205, Jan Blachowicz as an opponent. What do you think about him? Is there anything that he presents to you that maybe your opponents at 185 didn't?
Well, we talk about Jan Blachowicz, former champion. He's a strong guy. He's a complete fighter, but I train super hard for this fight. We have our strategy, so let's go.
Last thing for me, obviously it's a little bit chaotic at the top of the 205-pound division right now. Are you looking at this as a number one contender fight, and you believe you should fight for the title with a win?
No, everything's been according to the plan. You know what I mean? Since my last fight in the locker room, we already started talking about what's going to happen, what's not happen. You know what I mean? It's not the organization also forced me to fight Blachowicz. We just took the fight we thought was a good fight. You know what I mean? Everything happens naturally.
Alex, in front right here. When Jamal gave the belts up, there was a lot of talk that maybe they would make this a vacant title fight. Was that ever in conversation, or were you just planning 3 rounds and didn't want to change anything?
No, nobody had this conversation, but at the same time, if he did have, I was, I kept my eyes on it. I was ready. I'm 36 years old. It's not that I have too much time to wait.
Yeah, over. Was there any talks in making this a vacant title fight after Jamal vacated the belt?
Yeah, we talk about this, but it was like short conversation. They say no, it stay like this.
Well, why do you think the UFC always seems to turn to you to welcome these middleweights up from the middleweight division?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe this is my job, in UFC to to send them back to the lower division. I don't know. But I'm okay with that.
Is there any part of you that views this as since Glover's retired and his relationship with Glover, this is the next best thing you could have to maybe avenging that previous loss to Glover, considering Glover will be in his corner? Yeah,
a little bit. I treat this like my personal rematch against Glover. Yeah, two completely different fighters, but they train together. They are friends, train in one gym. He's his coach. So for me, that would be, like personal rematch.
In the past, Jan has obviously fought a lot of middleweights that have tried to test themselves at light heavyweight, like Jacare, Rockhold, and Israel. I'm curious, do you think they maybe underestimated him and didn't put on enough size, or why do you think these middleweights that come up don't have success specifically against Jan Blachowicz?
Nah, last up, I think it's just, I'm not gonna say coincidence, but it's just natural course. You know what I mean? He beat those guys, but you know what I mean. Regardless the weight class, it's just like he won 3-4 fights. Some people put that as superstition, but that doesn't happen with me. You know what I mean? I feel good. I'm training hard, and I'm gonna put in the work that I'm training.
Hey, Alex. Now that you've moved to light heavyweight, how much weight were you cutting to get down to middleweight, and just how hard were those last couple weight cuts?
No, well, the few weight cuts were hard because, when he was a kickboxer, the body was a kickboxer body, but then he started training MMA. Naturally, it gets stronger, the body thickens out. So it was getting harder and harder. But now for him, he just got to watch his diet on the last few weeks, couple weeks, 4 weeks, but it's much, much nicer.
You faced 3 UFC former champions in your career. Where do you think Alex stands amongst those of Luke Rockhold, Israel Adesanya, and Glover Teixeira?
I don't know. For sure, he's one of the toughest, opponent for me. In stand-up, of course. We will see what's gonna happen when we start doing wrestling or ground game. I don't know. I will tell you after the fight. But I have to be careful and keep full concentration all the time.
And then finally, there was another video of you drowning Glover. What did Glover do to you?
E o vídeo dessa semana, você afogando o Glover, o que o Glover fez pra você?
Não, eu tava brincando ali, pô. Não, a gente tava brincando, pô, aí ele fez umas maldades aí também, aí eu falei, vou descontar, né? Pô, ele tava por baixo ali e tal, pô, tava mais fácil pra dar uma judiada nele, eu falei, pô, vou brincar aqui, mas é tudo tranquilo.
We were joking, having fun, having a good time. He did some bad stuff over there, so he was on the bottom over there. So let me just draw him a little bit, but we're good.
Hey, Jan. Looks like you've embraced your cowboy roots. How are you enjoying being a cowboy?
Finally, I was a cowboy for a moment. When I was kid, everybody playing cowboys. So now I can feel how it is for real, and I was, just happy. I was happy like a little kid. So I've got my whole outfit. Maybe I'll wear it someday, somewhere.
I just wanted your thoughts. John Jones made his heavyweight debut earlier this year, and you guys were kind of like, trying to fight each other when he was still at light heavyweight. What were your thoughts on his debut at heavyweight?
Yeah, this debut was amazing. A little bit fast to me because what can I say? Nobody knows how he's gonna feel, after one round. So maybe with Miocic will go a little bit longer, and then we can say something more. But the debut was just amazing. He just go there and do what he have to do. That's it.
Thank you.